gentlemen, what this organization really needs is a one-on-one approach. Actually, what this organization really needs is repositioning. That means that...
Stop it!
Based on the video we forged before, it indirectly displays that we cannot take informations or data with one eye. It needs to be understood clearly so that the strategies can be implemented effectively.
It goes to every part of divisions, including the marketing, finance or accounting, R&D, and MIS. In this chapter, we will continue our lesson regarding the strategy implementation, and this time, it will be about the divisions we've mentioned before.
Hello. Hey, oh, ketchup aci, sisi.
To explain it more, we're going to begin the presentation on Chapter 8 about implementing strategies in marketing, finance or accounting, R&D, and MIS issues.
To introduce ourselves, we are based from Faculty of Economic and Business, University of Lampung, and our lecturer is Dr. Nova. Then finally, the group consists of myself, Karina Putri, and my partner,
Mutiara Fitri. After this video, there are several objectives that we would like to gain, which are explain market segmentation and product positioning as strategy implementation tools,
discuss procedures for determining the worth of a business,
explain why projected financial statement analysis is a central strategy implementation tool,
explain how to evaluate the attractiveness of debt versus stock as a source of capital to implement strategies,
discuss the natures and the role of research and development in strategy implementation,
and finally, explain how management information system can determine the success of strategy implementation efforts. And now, let's take a look at our core problems. The main problems are marketing, finance or accounting, R&D, and MIS. Well, obviously though, we've been mentioning these things for a while.
Shall begin with the marketing issues. Here are some examples of marketing decisions that may require policies. First, to use exclusive dealerships or multiple channels of distributions. To use heavy, light, or no TV advertising. To limit or the shares of a business done with a single customers. To be a price leader or a price follower. To offer a complete or limited warranty. To reward salespeople based on strict salary, strict commissions, or a combination between salary and commissions, and last, to advertise online or not.
A marketing issue of increasing concern to customers today is the extent to which companies can track individuals' movements on the internet, and even be able to identify an individual by name and email address. Marketing of late has become more about building a two-way relationship with customers than just informing customers about a product or service. It also gets their customer involved in their company too. Here are the new principles of marketing. Don't just talk at a customer, work with them. Give a customer a reason to participate. Listen and join the conversation outside the company. Don't control online conversation, let it flow freely. Find the marketing technologies, and finally, embrace instant messaging. In case of purpose-based marketing, it is how the company show customers how they can improve their lives with their product or service, and it has been implemented by hundreds of firms successfully. There is a need and ad to build trust and an emotional connection to the customer in order to differentiate their product or service.
Market segmentation is an important variable in strategy implementation for three major reasons. The first, strategies such as market development, product development, and market penetrations and diversifications require increased sales through new markets and products. Second, allows a firm to operate with limited resources because mass productions, mass distributions, and mass advertisings are not required. And finally, market segmentation decisions directly affect the marketing mix variables, the product, price, place, and promotion.
Evaluating potential market segments requires strategies to determine the characteristics and needs of consumers, to analyze consumer similarities and differences, and to develop consumers' group profiles. Does the internet make market segmentation easier? Actually, yes. The segments of people whom marketers want to reach online are much more precisely defined than the segments of people reached through traditional forms of media, such as television, radio, and magazines. Next, we're gonna talk about the product positioning. After markets have been segmented so that the firm can target particular customer groups, the next step is to find out what customers want and expect. This takes analysis and research. An effective product positioning strategy meets two criteria. 1. Uniquely distinguishes a company from the competition, and 2. Leads customers to expect slightly less service than a company can deliver.
Here are some examples of decisions that may require finance or accounting policies, which are to raise the capital with short-term debt, long-term debt, preferred stock or common stock, to lease or buy fixed assets, to determine an appropriate dividend payout ratio, to use LIFO, FIFO, or market value accounting approach, to extend the time of accounts receivable, and last, to determine the amount of cash that should be kept on hand.
Issues in finance and accounting include acquiring capital to implement strategies. Successful strategy implementation often requires additional capital. Besides net profit from operations and the sale of the assets, two basic sources of capital for an organization are debt and equity. Determining an appropriate mix of debt and equity in a firm's capital structure can be vital to successful strategy implementation.
Credit unions were not involved in the subprime loan market, so many of them are flush with cash and are making loans, especially to small business. However, the bankers argue that allowing credit unions to give more business loans would give them an unfair competitive advantage over the traditional banks.
Next is projected financial statements. It is a central strategy implementation technique because it allows an organization to examine the expected results of various actions and approaches. This type of analysis can be used to forecast the impact of various implementation decisions.
There are at least 3 major R&D approaches for implementing strategy. The first strategy is to be the first firm to market the new technological products. Second is to be an innovative imitator of successful product, thus minimizing the risk and cost of startup. Third is to be a low-cost producer by mass-producing products similar to but less expensive than the products recently introduced.
Finally, the MIS issues. Having an effective management information system may be the most important factor in differentiating between the successful and unsuccessful firms. There are 3 issues that should be considered. First one is how information collection, retrieval, and storage can be used to create competitive advantage. Next, a good information system can allow a firm to reduce costs. Finally, firms must increasingly be concerned about computer hackers and take specific measures to secure and safeguard corporate communications, files, orders, and business conducted over the internet.
In conclusion, successful strategy implementation depends on cooperation among all the functional and divisional managers in an organization. The natures and role of marketing, finance or accounting, research and development, and management information system activities, coupled with the management activities, largely determine organizational success.